They say leg cramps are just karma catching up with you. But I'm here to tell you, karma's not that cruel. Welcome, beloved soul, to Buddhist wisdom for the elderly, where we don't just grow old, we wake up. Because if you've ever been jolted out of a peaceful sleep by a leg cramp that felt like your calf was trying to escape the cycle of rebirth, you know it's not just part of aging. That pain is a little dharma bell, bringing you back to the present. And like all great teachers, it's annoying, but enlightening. We don't deny the suffering, but we also don't bow to it. We listen, we breathe, we feed it something holy. In this video, we'll uncover 5 sacred foods, ordinary on the outside, but profound in what they offer. And part 3 is something special. It's about nuts and seeds, tiny bodhisattvas disguised as trail mix. They soothe inflammation, nourish your nerves, and remind your legs they are still part of the path. So stay with us. Like, subscribe, and help us reach 1,000 mindful elders walking this path together. Pour some tea, adjust your cushion, and let's begin this journey back into the body with kindness. Part 1. The banana, nature's yellow telephone to your muscles. You ever notice how a banana never rushes? It just hangs there on the tree waiting. It doesn't demand attention, it doesn't shout. It ripens slowly, softens gently, and when it's ready, just when you need it most, it slips into your hand like it's always belonged there. Now that's medicine. See, when your legs start sending those angry telegrams at 2 a.m., pain in left calf, stop. Can't stretch, stop. Send help, stop. The banana is nature's way of gently picking up the phone and saying, I got this. Bananas are loaded with potassium, and potassium is one of those minerals that works like a behind-the-scenes spiritual director. You don't see it, but everything runs smoother when it's there. It helps your muscles contract and relax properly, make sure your nerves aren't overreacting, and balances the inner ocean of fluid that keeps your cells happily floating along. When potassium is low, like say after a sweaty walk, or because of medication, or just because you skipped dinner, your legs may start to panic. They go rigid, they spasm, they scream. One medium banana gives you around 420 milligrams of potassium, about 12% of what you need each day. It's not a miracle, it's not flashy, but if you eat 1 banana a day, you may start to notice something curious. Your body feels a little less dramatic. But the banana isn't a one-trick pony. It's also got a solid dose of magnesium, which is like the friend who walks into the party and says, okay, everyone, chill out. Magnesium relaxes muscle fibers, supports energy production, and works hand in hand with potassium to reduce cramping. Then there's vitamin B6, an underappreciated little nutrient that helps regulate your brain chemistry and nervous system. It helps reduce inflammation, supports oxygen flow to your muscles, and calms that strange tingling in your legs that feels like they're whispering secrets all night long. Think of it this way. The banana is not just a fruit. It's a therapist, a yoga teacher, and a massage all wrapped in one yellow jacket. Now here's a trick. Eat a banana 1 to 2 hours before bed. It's got the perfect blend of carbs, minerals, and sweetness to gently restore balance to your tired legs before you lay them down for the night. It's like tucking your muscles in with a warm blanket. You might say, but I'm diabetic. Well, even then, a banana paired with a handful of nuts or some whole grains can help balance the sugar spike and still give you the cramp-fighting minerals your body is begging for. I knew an older man once, a retired jazz musician. Every night before bed, he'd eat half a banana while listening to Coltrane, and he swore it was the reason he never woke up with cramps again. It's the potassium, he'd say, and the saxophone doesn't hurt either. Now, in the spirit of Ram Dass, let's not turn this into a banana obsession. Don't hoard them. Don't build a shrine. Just eat one. Slowly, with presence. Let it be a reminder that you don't need exotic cures. You don't need complicated systems. Sometimes, all you need is something simple and sweet, taken with care and intention. There is something very holy about peeling a banana and offering it to your body, not as a chore, not as a fix, but as a little act of reverence. A way of saying, I see you, old legs. You've carried me far. Let me return the favor. Bananas are lovely, but like all things, they're best in balance. One banana a day is usually enough. If you're very active or sweating a lot, maybe two. And if your blood sugar's a concern, eat them with fiber or protein to slow things down. How? And drink water. You can't hydrate a dried-out sponge with potassium alone. Without water, your muscles will still cramp, even if you eat bananas by the bunch. Think of the banana and water as a dynamic duo, Batman and Robin for your calves. Part 2, the egg, the humble healer of the muscle world. Now let's talk about the egg. Yes, that egg. Not the golden one from fairy tales and not the kind you color on Easter Sunday. I'm talking about the humble, wobbly, fridge-dwelling egg. The one that's been quietly waiting on the second shelf behind the mustard, ready to serve as your personal leg cramp bodyguard. You see, aging is a curious thing. Somewhere along the way, your muscles start making these strange executive decisions without consulting you. They spasm at midnight. They go on strike during a nice walk, and suddenly, your body, which once carried you through all kinds of wild adventures, is now charging tolls just to get up the stairs. And that's when the egg comes in. Not with a cape or a dramatic soundtrack, but just calmly. Like a wise old friend showing up with soup when you're sick. The egg says, hey buddy, I've got protein, vitamin D, B12, and choline. Let's fix those muscles before they start filing more complaints. In Eastern teachings, the egg is sometimes seen as a symbol of wholeness, of everything that could be. It's not running anywhere. It's not trying to become something else. It just is. And maybe that's a teaching right there. Most of us are scrambling, pun intended, to fix things. Tight hamstrings, stiff calves, aching hips, when sometimes what we really need is to nourish the simplicity of the moment. Maybe just sit down, take a breath, and eat an egg. One egg has about 6 grams of top-tier protein. That's the kind of protein that says, hey, let's rebuild those muscle fibers you lost in your 60s without making a big fuss about it. Seniors lose muscle mass like kids lose socks. It's just part of the deal. The trick is not to panic. Just keep feeding the body what it needs to repair itself. Then there's vitamin D, which is kind of like the backstage manager for calcium. No vitamin D, no calcium absorption. And no calcium absorption? Cue the Charlie Horse Ballet at 2 a.m. Now here's where it gets juicy. Egg yolks contain vitamin D naturally. It's not enough to replace the sun, but if your idea of sunlight is the glow of a refrigerator bulb at midnight, you might want to take what you can get. We've also got vitamin B12 and choline in that little oval miracle. They protect your nerves like a warm blanket. If your leg cramps are starting to feel more like fireworks shows, burning, tingling, misfiring, it's probably because the nerves aren't getting the support they need. B12 helps your body communicate with itself. It's like a marriage counselor for your muscles and your brain. Without it, things get tense, conversations get missed, and suddenly you're waking up with your calf screaming, "Nobody listens to me anymore." Eggs help with that. Now before you run to the fridge and crack 6 of them in a frying pan, let's talk moderation. Most healthy seniors can eat 6 to 7 eggs a week with no problem. But if your cholesterol is touchy, you can always pivot to egg whites. Or, here's a radical idea, talk to your doctor before launching a full-blown omelet operation. But the real magic isn't just in the eating. It's in the presence. One of my teachers used to peel a boiled egg every morning like it was a sacred ritual. Everything I need to know, she'd say, is in this egg. It's soft, it's strong, and it doesn't complain. So don't just toss an egg down your throat while reading the news about how everything's falling apart. Sit with it. Say thank you. Eat slowly. Let your nervous system feel the message. You are cared for. Here's a little trick I've picked up. If your legs go wild at night, try eating an egg in the evening. That protein helps repair muscle tissue while you sleep, like tiny little builders patching up the road while traffic is low. Add a cup of chamomile tea, maybe play a little quiet Miles Davis, and let your body know that it's safe now, that you're listening, that you've got its back. Now, if you've got kidney issues or your doctor tells you to limit protein, listen to them, not some guy on YouTube talking about eggs like they're enlightenment. Health is personal. And the body, like the soul, has its own pace, its own needs. But for most folks over 60, the egg is a quiet little superhero hiding in plain sight. Affordable, accessible, full of healing. And unlike those creams and pills that cost an arm and a leg, this one actually helps you keep your legs. Part 3. The Sacred Crunch. Nuts and seeds that speak to your muscles. You know, there's something oddly comforting about the sound of a good crunch. Not the violent crunch of a car fender or the stress-induced chomping of popcorn during the evening news, but the sacred crunch. That tender little snap of an almond between your teeth. The grounding texture of pumpkin seeds sprinkled over your oatmeal. The quiet whisper of nourishment saying, "I'm here and I've got your back." Yes, my friend, we are entering the nut and seed zone. Not quite the mystic temple, but close. Now let's be real. Nobody thinks of a cashew as spiritual. It doesn't sit cross-legged, it doesn't chant. But inside that little crescent of nuttiness is a whole world of healing. Nuts and seeds are loaded with magnesium, potassium, healthy fats, and plant-based protein, the very nutrients your muscles need to stay calm, supple, and strong. In fact, if your legs could talk, they might say, "Can you toss me a handful of walnuts instead of another aspirin?" Let's break it down. Magnesium. This is the ultimate muscle whisperer. It says, "Shh, relax now." Most seniors are low on it, partly due to diet, partly due to medications, and partly because the soil we grow food in just isn't what it used to be. Potassium, still playing its role as chief electrical conductor, making sure your nerves and muscles are dancing in harmony, not clashing like a garage band with no drummer. Protein helps your body repair itself, especially after walks, gardening, or wrestling with your fitted sheep. Omega-3 fats in walnuts and flax seeds. These are the diplomats. They reduce inflammation, smooth out soreness, and help your blood flow like a lazy river, not a traffic jam. I knew a woman in her 80s who kept a tiny wooden bowl on her kitchen counter. Every morning, she'd fill it with a mix of almonds, pumpkin seeds, and walnuts. She called it her morning mantra. "This bowl keeps me walking," she told me once with a wink. "And walking keeps me sane." Turns out she was right. Just 1 ounce a day, about a small handful, is enough to provide real muscle support. And here's the trick. It's not just about nutrients, it's about the ritual. The act of choosing something nourishing, chewing slowly, being present. This is mindfulness in motion. This is medicine that doesn't come in a bottle. If you tend to get leg cramps after movement or in the middle of the night, try eating your nuts. Before bed, the magnesium helps your muscles wind down like a good lullaby. After exercise, replenishes lost electrolytes, reduces soreness. With meals, improves nutrient absorption, especially when paired with leafy greens or whole grains. Sprinkle flax seeds on your yogurt. Toss pumpkin seeds into a salad. Add cashews to a stir-fry. Let your food be not just fuel, but love letters to the body that's carried you through so much. Now, not all nuts are created equal, just like not all people are. Some are flashy, hello pistachios. Some are quiet, chia seeds just sit there and absorb things. And some, like almonds, are dependable and strong, like that one friend who still helps you lift heavy boxes even though their back hurts. But they all have a lesson to teach. They say, be small but mighty, be nourishing, not flashy, be full of good things, even if no one notices. And isn't that the lesson of aging gracefully? Quiet strength, inner richness, subtle wisdom. Of course, we've got to talk about balance. These little guys are calorie dense. You don't need to eat half a jar of peanut butter to heal your legs. One handful a day is enough. Also, steer clear of the salted, sugar-dusted, chocolate-dipped kind. Your legs don't need candy, they need minerals. And if you've got nut allergies or digestion that's a little too sensitive, there are always other ways to get your magnesium and potassium. Think lentils, think leafy greens. The earth is generous if we listen. Part 4. Brown rice, the Zen grain that grounds your legs and your spirit. You know, in the West, we talk a lot about superfoods. Everything's got to be super these days. Super strong, super fast, super convenient. But in the East, especially in Zen and Buddhist monastic life, they honor a different kind of food. A humble, quiet food. A food that asks nothing of you but presence. And that food is brown rice. Not the fancy jasmine kind, not the polished white rice that's all flair and no fiber, but the whole hearty grain, the one that still has its bran, its germ, its soul. In many Buddhist monasteries, brown rice is served every day at nearly every meal. It's not because it's trendy, it's because it's complete. It holds within it the perfect balance of complex carbohydrates, magnesium, B vitamins, and fiber. It's food that doesn't rush you. It doesn't spike your blood sugar and crash you into a nap. It supports the body the way a meditation cushion supports the spine. Gently, evenly, dependably. And when it comes to preventing leg cramps in seniors, brown rice is surprisingly powerful. Let's unpack this. Magnesium. Remember this mineral from earlier? It helps your muscles relax. Many seniors are deficient, especially if they rely on processed grains or white rice. Brown rice delivers a subtle, natural dose that gently works over time. Vitamin B1, thiamine, essential for healthy nerve function. A deficiency can lead to muscle weakness and, you guessed it, cramping. Complex carbs. These provide a slow, steady release of energy, keeping blood sugar stable and preventing the kind of drop-offs that lead to fatigue and poor circulation. If your legs are cramping at night, it might not be just dehydration. It might be that your blood sugar dipped too low. A small serving of warm brown rice at dinner can help stabilize your system, keep your energy even, and support overnight muscle repair. Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "When you eat the rice deeply." He wasn't talking about chewing harder. He was talking about being present, holding the bowl with reverence, recognizing that this grain, this simple, earthy grain, came from the sky, the rain, the soil, and the hands of a farmer you'll never meet. To eat brown rice mindfully is to bow to the interconnectedness of life. And when you bring that kind of presence to your meals, something happens. Your body softens. Your digestion improves. Your nervous system calms down. Your legs, those hard-working messengers of your lifetime, finally get the rest they've been waiting for. Here's the invitation. Eat it warm, ideally as part of your evening meal. Pair it with steamed greens, sesame seeds, or a miso broth. Foods that balance yin and yang. Chew slowly, not because it's trendy, but because your digestion and your soul needs the pause. If you want a more potent dose of magnesium and nerve support, consider adding a sprinkle of black sesame seeds or a bit of seaweed, both deeply healing in traditional Eastern medicine. I once met a Zen cook who said, "If you want to strengthen your legs, stop running and learn to chew your rice." It sounded ridiculous at the time, but now, years later, I think he was right. Not just because of the nutrients, but because of the rhythm. Healing begins when we stop rushing, and brown rice invites us to do just that. If you're used to white rice, start slow. Brown rice takes longer to cook and chew, and it's got more fiber. That's good for your heart, but it may surprise your digestion at first. Begin with a half cup. See how your body responds. Listen. Adjust. There's no rush. This is a long, sweet road back to balance. Part 5. Sweet potato, Earth's comfort for aching legs and wandering minds. Now let's talk about the sweet potato. Yes, that humble root tucked into the corner of the market, wearing its dusty skin like a monk's robe. Unassuming, grounded, and quietly powerful. It doesn't demand attention like flashy kale or kale's arrogant cousin, quinoa. But for centuries, in both Eastern medicine and Buddhist monastic life, the sweet potato has been honored as food for healing, endurance, and spiritual steadiness. And for elders, especially those wrestling with leg pain, weakness, or nighttime cramps, the sweet potato is like a warm hand on your shoulder saying, "It's okay, let's sit for a while." In traditional Buddhist temples across Japan and China, sweet potatoes have long been a staple, not just for their taste or affordability, but because they embody the virtue of grounding. A root food, pulled straight from the earth, grown with patience, cooked with care. They are considered yin nourishing in traditional Chinese medicine, perfect for cooling inflammation, restoring energy, and supporting the spleen and kidneys, which are energetically linked to our legs and lower body. And spiritually, the sweet potato teaches us to slow down, to soften, to savor the sweetness in life that doesn't need sugar to be sweet. Now, let's root ourselves in the science for a moment. Potassium. Here it is again, our cramp-fighting friend. Sweet potatoes are high in potassium, helping regulate nerve signals, smooth muscle contractions, and prevent spasms. Magnesium. This magical mineral helps relax overactive muscles and balance your electrolytes. Beta-carotene, vitamin A, supports circulation and tissue repair. Good circulation, happy legs. Vitamin C aids in collagen production, which helps keep your joints and tendons supple. The leg is not just bone and muscle, it's a web of living tissue that needs gentle maintenance. Complex carbohydrates provide sustained energy without spiking blood sugar, giving your muscles the fuel they need to function calmly. And unlike white potatoes, sweet potatoes are gentle on your blood sugar, especially when eaten with their skin and paired with fiber or protein, which means your legs get the support they need without the sugar roller coaster that often ends in fatigue and inflammation. In Zen temples, sweet potatoes are often roasted, then served in silence. There's something about that. The softness, the warmth, the simplicity. It becomes more than food, it becomes a meditation on gratitude. A way of bowing not just to the bowl, but to the earth itself. Try this at home. Roast a sweet potato with the skin on. Sprinkle a touch of sea salt or cinnamon. Pair it with a boiled egg or a scoop of tahini. Eat slowly, in silence if you can. Let it be an offering. You may find your legs feel steadier, but more than that, your spirit does too. I once heard a Thai forest monk say, "If the mind is restless, feed the body something orange." He was referring to sweet potatoes, carrots, squash. The foods that connect us back to earth, to simplicity, to the deep belly of our being. If you're diabetic or watching carbs, don't fear the sweet potato. Just honor its power. Have half a portion. Add healthy fat and fiber. Watch how your body responds. It's not about perfection. It's about tuning in. And if digestion is sluggish, try mashed sweet potato with a little ginger or ghee. Both warming, both healing. So what have we learned, dear friend? That healing doesn't always come in a prescription bottle. Sometimes it comes in the curve of a banana or the quiet crunch of an almond. Sometimes it's in a bowl of warm brown rice or the earthy sweetness of a baked potato shared with gratitude. These aren't just foods, they're gentle companions on the path. Nourishment for the legs and medicine for the soul. We began by questioning the myth that leg cramps are just an unavoidable part of aging. But we end with something deeper, a reminder that your body is not failing, it's communicating. And every egg, seed, and grain we discussed is a way of whispering back, "I hear you. Thank you. Let's heal." If something today made you smile or made your body feel seen, go ahead and click like. If you've got your own story, drop it in the comments. We read everyone like a little sutra. And if you'd like to walk this journey with us, gently hit subscribe and help us reach 1,000 mindful subscribers. You'll be part of the sangha we're building here, one video, one soul, one quiet breath at a time. May your legs walk lightly, may your meals be mindful, and may you always remember, even in the cramp, there is wisdom. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, stay with us.